Good evening and welcome on into the Timeout Show for a Tuesday, February 20th. I'm Andy Brown, and our show is brought to you by Randy's Auto Body. Since 1979, the very best in local Hillsdale County auto body work. You can give them a call at 357-4317. Our show also brought to you by Coach B's Driving School, CoachB'sDrivingSchool.com, and on the phone at 425-2614. Get registered for all of the classes that they are featuring for the 2013 year, and we'll hear more about both of those fine sponsors in a little bit. Our show tonight, we're excited. We have the Hillsdale Academy girls basketball team in studio. They have just completed a perfect, undefeated run in the SCAA conference, and we're excited to have them tonight. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I left all of my notes out in the other room. So, Kevin, when I get you talking, I'm going to run out in the other room.
Okay, sounds
and
great.
So you pretend I'm still here.
Got
the listeners
it. No
will never know
problem.
the better. But Kevin Reed is the head coach of the girls basketball team. They are 16-0, 19-1 to finish off the season. Coach, congratulations on a spectacular year.
Thank you, Andy. It's been a dream come true. We've worked really hard replacing 4 starters. We had high hopes, but I think we were about the only ones that thought we could accomplish some of the goals that we set for us. So with a lot of hard work and a lot of great seniors, I brought 3 seniors here tonight that have done a lot of work for us over the past 4 or 5 seasons. So it made it a lot easier that I had these 3 young ladies that bought into everything that I was talking about and lived it out every day in practice. So I was really blessed.
What's your background in the game?
My background in the game, I started a long time ago with Coach Hubbard, who actually is the reason I'm at Hillsdale Academy. I was his JV boys coach when he started in Onstead way back in the 90s. So I came from the boys side, and then when my daughter attended Hillsdale Academy, he asked me if I'd be the JV girls coach. So I coached my daughter, and then he's coaching his son now, and I couldn't say no to these girls, and I just stayed on.
So how long have you been the head girls coach?
This is my 2nd year of being the varsity coach at the academy.
Are you anticipating offers from big-time programs in the offseason now that you've had an undefeated league season?
No, there's no offers coming down the pipe. I am very happy coaching right where I'm at. I've got a bunch of girls that love to play, and I love to be around them, so I would never leave, and besides, nobody else would put up with my crap.
Okay, there you have it. Kevin Reed is the head coach of the Hillsdale Academy, and they are undefeated in the league, 16-0, 19-1 during the course of the season. We make light of it a little bit, but to have a perfect run in any league, 16-0 league year, is something very rare and something to be very proud of. How far along into the season was it before you realized, hey, we're pretty good?
When we beat Climax Scots at the college, I think we all looked at each other and said, we're on to something pretty good here. And it was a pretty special night. And then Jonesville brought us right back to reality at the Rotary tournament, and we realized, hey, we got to go back to work. And once we got halfway through the season, I said, it's time for us to reset some goals. I said, to go undefeated in the league is a pretty special thing, and that should be one of our new goals. So we set that as a goal, and when we played Hillsdale at our place on a Saturday night and won the Dial-A-Ride, that was another big contest because they're a very good team with, Haley Maystad is as good a player as we've had around this county since Morgan Warfield graduated, and she's a big matchup problem, and we played very, very well against them. And I looked at the girls and I said, let's finish this out the right way. And they took on that challenge and made it happen.
Your team is so tough to stop because as I'm reading a little bit and researching a little bit about it, it just sounds like the will of your kids is so on point. There's just this attitude where we're going to find a way. You're down to North Adams. North Adams was shooting the lights out. You were struggling a little bit. You've got a halftime deficit. And I'll tell you, some teams would be mentally spaced out by that. We're losing to an inferior team. We think it's just not going our way. Maybe this isn't our night. How do you take a night like that and turn it around and turn that into something positive?
Well, that was the hardest halftime that I've ever had because I think that the 9 girls that were down in the dungeon locker room were waiting for me to come in and just really peel the paint off the walls. And I thought they played hard. We just couldn't make a shot. And I thought, boy, now it's not the time to pile on, because they feel just as bad as you do. And I just looked at them and I said, hey, I was with you at Hillsdale College when we were down 8 against Climax Scots, and we started the 4th quarter. And I said, we're just going to do it one possession at a time. Let's go out there and just get a really good shot and get into our press and make things happen. And it started really slow in the 3rd quarter. In fact, they banked in a shot to go up by 12. And it looked like, oh, boy, here we go. And then, they just dug in. And Chrissy Superman to get a jump ball. She dove about 10 feet to get a jump ball. And Elise made 5 threes. And Lindy really dominated inside in the paint. And before you knew it, at the end of the 3rd quarter, we had a 1-point lead. And I looked at them between the 3rd and the 4th quarter, and I knew that they were not going to give up the lead. I just knew it. I know how much heart and character they have. And they're an amazing group, because when we play, if the other team has the ball with 10 seconds or less underneath their basket, we always call out no shot, no shot. And I would say 90% of the time, the team doesn't even get a shot. And they just lock down. And when we say that, they're just not going to get a shot.
What's your team's style? What kind of basketball do you want to play? If it's going your way on a night and you're showing off your identity as a basketball team, what do people see?
I think people would watch us and think that we're playing street ball, because we rebound and we outlet and we run the court, and it probably doesn't look real organized, but everybody has a job, and we run an organized break, and then we run a read and react offense where everybody has a certain movement that they do off of what the ball does. And it's been 5 years in the making, and I think when you ask the girls, they wouldn't want to do anything else, because that allows them freedom to play basketball. And that's the biggest thing, is they're allowed to play basketball, which guys get and girls have to learn, and you have to teach it, and they've got it now. And then we press. My background is from Rick Pitino, and we do a lot of the Pitino style pressing. In fact, we still call it black and white, just like he does. And we trap speed dribbles. We trap when they turn their back. We trap when we want to get the ball out of somebody's hand, and it's very complex, but thank goodness that I've got academy girls that are smart enough to handle what I preach. And when we get rolling, like last night when we played Jackson Christian, it was 10-7 at the end of the 1st quarter, and we scored 16 straight points in the 2nd quarter, and they could barely get the ball over half court.
Demoralizing.
Yeah, and it just takes their will away from them, and they get frustrated. And once they get frustrated, our girls smile and just say, Coach, they're tired, they're done.
We got them right where we want them.
Yep.
Lindy was saying in the lobby before we came on the air that you have the best conditioned team that there is around in the SCAA. That doesn't happen by accident. That's a lot of hard work at practice. Do you find that just working on your press, working on all of the stuff that you want to do, you're able to get a lot of that conditioning training in?
We like to condition doing basketball stuff.
Right.
Like, I really hate putting them on the line and making them run. We'll do that before the season starts just to get a base. But I think that if we work hard enough in practice, that we'll be in shape. And I think you can ask the girls. Elise has told me one time this year, she goes, Coach, you need to ramp it up a little bit. I think we're not quite in good enough shape. And for the rest of the time, I don't think so. And
were her teammates upset with her when she said that?
I think this is the first they've known about it.
Oh, great. More running. Spectacular. Well, you had an incredibly successful team, 16-0 in the conference. This is Kevin Reed, who's the head girls basketball coach at the Hillsdale Academy in his 2nd year. Lindy Wonders, Elise Lisney, and Christina Craig are here, and we'll talk to them in a minute. You talked about a couple of the big wins on the year. Climax Scots, a huge win, obviously beating Hillsdale. The loss to Jonesville in the holiday tournament. What did you take away? You said that after the loss, you took away kind of a resetting or a recalibration of who you wanted to be. What do you take away from those big wins?
The big win was Climax Scots is by far the most talented team in our conference, and they've had such a great tradition. They have Janae Langs, who's signed at Grand Valley, And she's a great player. And they have Destiny and Fallon Froberg, and they're just so talented. Stephanie Cochran can shoot the three. And so for us to play them and to actually beat them, because they beat us twice last year, and I don't think we thought we could beat them. And for us to actually stand there and beat them, in the fourth quarter we were down 8. We shut them out the fourth quarter. They didn't score the fourth quarter of our game. And we were still down 5 with a minute to go. And I still get emotional.
I could tell. And that's good. I mean, you obviously love your kids and you love your team. It's a special moment.
It was a special moment because when you're down 5 with a minute to go against a really good team, and I just told them to keep believing and keep working, and they did. And if you want to know why we're successful, it's because we all feel this way, and we work really hard at it, and we work really hard at scouting reports. And I told them in the fourth quarter of the climax game, I'm like, girls, they cannot stand the pressure that you've put on them. And they did. They wore out. Their girls were dead. Our girls were dead. But I knew that they had a lot more to give. So that was good. Another big win was Hillsdale, because I think Hillsdale's pushed us around in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Haley's been there, and when Shannon Nagley was there, they were a lot more physical than our girls were. And they play in a much more physical conference. They play better competition, and so they're tougher. And I think our girls got tougher when we played Hillsdale. They had to, and that was one of our goals. And I think Jonesville, a big key was Chrissy. Chrissy wasn't there. She was down seeing her grandma, and part of our team was gone.
Right.
And we weren't ready to replace that part yet. And so it made us get better. It made us move Olivia Jones around, and it made us we learned more from the loss than we did those 2 wins. I think we talked about becoming a family. We talked about how important it is for one another to trust, and I think it was all Chrissy, because Chrissy tells those other 2 girls that she's still undefeated.
She's 19-0.
So she's the magic
That's
elixir.
True.
So it's all Chrissy.
Kevin Reed's the head coach at the Hillsdale Academy. They are 19-1 on the regular season, 16-0 SCAA champions. They will play at North Adams against North Adams, 6 o'clock Wednesday, 1 week from tonight in the district first-round game at North Adams Jerome High School. Lindy, Elise, and Christina, introduce them. Talk about their role on your team.
Okay. We'll start with Lindy, because Lindy's right here. Lindy she plays center, but she also handles the ball like a guard. She is 3rd on our team in assists. She has 74 block shots this season. She's on pace to she has a chance, if we make a good tournament run, to break the school's all-time block record set by Clara Leuthäuser, which we never thought would ever be a chance to be broken. And Lindy's a matchup nightmare because she can shoot the 3. She's our second leading 3-point shooter. I think you've got 18 or 19 threes made this year, and then she's also our best post player. So, and Lindy's big job is when Elise and Chrissy let somebody get around them, she blocks their shot. So she just dominates the paint.
Why don't you introduce all of them,
I'll
and then I'll
introduce
kind of
all
bring
of
them up.
okay.
And then, yeah, that'd be great.
Elise is our point guard, and Elise has never scored until this season. She's averaged about 4 points a game and always has been our leading steal. In fact, she's going to graduate. She's our career leader in steals already. Wow. We also chart deflections anytime they tip the ball, which has become a really good stat now with Victor Oladipo at Indiana, what he's doing. And I challenged Elise that she's got to try to get 20 deflections like he did against Michigan State, but we haven't quite made it that far. She's got 15 in a game, but she just causes havoc. I feel almost sorry for the other team's point guard because she just dominates them that way. And then this year she started to score. She's averaging over 13 points a game. She tied our single-season three-point shot record last night with 35, which I never thought in the world that we would ever, and she's shaking her head too. And so she's done a really good job that way. And Christina's done everything that we've asked. She's our backup point guard when Elise gets in foul trouble, which unfortunately was way too frequently this year. And she guards their second best. She's our best trapper. She's our best help side defender. She's always in help side defense. She drives Pittsford crazy because she's help side on the post when we front their post, and then she's quick enough to get out and guard them. And she can play 32 minutes, which she did at St. Phil. And this year she's even started scoring, much to the delight of her younger brother, who said she's got to start shooting. And so it's just been a combination there. You put those three together, they have great heart and great knowledge, and they play so well together, and that helps a lot with what we're trying to accomplish.
Christina, you're down visiting Grandma. You hear, obviously, you get the texts and the phone calls that you lost the game. What was your reaction being on the road and away from the team?
Well, I mean, obviously I was really sad that my team lost, and I really wanted to know what had changed from our team, because I knew that we were really strong, but I knew it was going to be a really good game. But I don't know, I wish that I could have been there to see how we would have done differently, but I think that it was...
In the long run, it sounds like in the long run you got a lot of benefit out of the loss. I mean, just from a total team concept and kind of finding yourselves and becoming who you are today. You look at some of the players who came before you. You mentioned Morgan Warfield. I think of the battles between Morgan and Heather Lantis, some of the Lloyd Hoyser girls. We mentioned Connet Blood a little while ago. And so your team and your success, I think, has snuck up on some people. Elise, you have to take a lot of pride in that. I mean, these superstars are gone. You guys have come up behind them, and here you are doing things that they never were able to do.
Well, I mean, they taught me how to play basketball. I played with Connor as an 8th grader. I've played with Heather for 2 years. So played with Sheena, played with Carly. All those guys taught me how to play basketball, how to handle the ball. And when I walked in the season, I had eyes set on 20-0. I mean, I know the girls I was playing with, other people may have doubted us, but I knew all their potential, and I knew if that we could get that going, then we would be unstoppable.
How did you get the shots? I mean, what's different offensively for you this year? The shots are falling. Was it a lot of off-season work that helped turn that around?
I went to a camp this summer, but mostly Coach needed me to fill a position, so I filled it. It's kind of what I've done for the team usually. I mean, he needed a defender, so I defended. He needed someone to get points this year. So I'm going to just kind of took that upon myself, I guess.
Coach mentioned a Rick Pitino style, and Christina, you can jump back in on this. I mean, Rick Pitino's teams, for a while, they weren't allowed to take an 18-footer. It was either a 3 or a dunk. Is that the philosophy for your team, or can you take a mid-range shot?
No. I guess we do a lot of elbow jump shots in practice, and lots of short corner practice, so I'd say no.
You're not totally having to take a layup or a 3. You have a little freedom there within the offense. Lindy Wonders, congratulations on all of the block shots this year. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
Do you do the Kembe Mutombo finger every time you block one of those shots?
No.
It's probably good. Your coach probably wouldn't love that.
No.
I mean, I'm told, I wasn't a shot blocker, but I'm told that there's a real art to that and a timing involved in it. How have you developed sort of the knack for blocking those shots?
I kind of hate to admit this on the radio, but I think a lot of it comes from volleyball. Learning the footwork, learning the timing to actually hit the ball. That's honestly how you come away with a clean block. They're going up with their left hand. You can't go up with your own left hand. You're going to follow them every time. So it's kind of an art that I've mastered.
Your sister Kelly played at the college level a little bit. Laura obviously played some basketball as well. Did you face off against them a lot when you were kids growing up?
We did. All 4 of us play basketball, and Kelly just beat me up. And I give a lot of my ability to her because she always had me in the driveway. And without that, I wouldn't really have a foundation that I have. So,
Grandpa Clyde probably enjoys watching your team?
He does, yeah.
I'm sure he uses it as sermon illustration Sunday morning, so that's good, and talks a lot about your squad. Elise, it's pretty obvious. I had never met Kevin until tonight, your coach, Kevin Reed. It's pretty obvious that he cares a lot about your team.
Yes, he does.
That he's emotional about it, that he's all in, that he's fully invested. How much is his emotion and his determination and his sort of dedication and commitment? How does that kind of rub off on the rest of the team?
It makes us an entirely different team. We wouldn't be anywhere without him. He constantly gives it all to us, but my teammates, we give it right back because we know we wouldn't be anywhere without him. And he motivates us, and every time he screams at me across the court, it only motivates me more to go out and get that basket for him. So he's our rock.
You know, your place is such a different place to play. It's a little bit of a more intimate feel in the gym. It seems like the crowd's right on top of you. I've been fortunate to go to a few games there that are some of the best sporting events I've been to around. It seems like you couldn't get that many people in there, but there's always room for one more person. And sometimes it can get really loud and really intense in your gym. Have you had those kinds of crowds this year and that kind of support?
We've had quite a few games that there have been a lot of people at, but for most of them we've had to make our own a little bit, especially among ourselves. We have to talk a lot better, like on defense and everything, get ourselves riled up because, between homework and other games, guys can't make it to it. So it's been a little bit tough actually this year, but hopefully in the off season our fans will be there. They were definitely there last night for senior night. So
that had to be really cool. And you guys played really well last night, it sounds like, too, with the Jackson Christian game. Coach, Wednesday against North Adams, I'm not asking you to deliver your game plan over the radio so that they can figure it out, but you've played them before. You know that team really well. What are some of the keys for your success in that game?
The keys, first of all, is we have to get off to a good start. I think we started so poorly against them, and we couldn't make a shot, and then they got confidence as the game went on, and at halftime, they really looked like when they left the court that they really thought they could beat us, and they can. And any given night, anybody can beat us. And one of the things that I've tried to make sure that the girls know, that if we play together, we're very strong. We don't have Heather Lantis or Conant Blood. We don't have, like, if I need a basket, I can't design a special play for any one of these girls and know that they're going to score. Like Heather and Conant, we'd say, okay, get Conant the ball, set a screen, and get out of her way, and she'll score. Okay, let's pound it into Heather, and she'll score. And we can't do that. We rely so much on each other that we have to make sure that we continue to play as a team. So if we play as a team, that's number one. The second thing is we just got to believe that we're good enough to come in there and just take care of business. And it's a one-and-done season now, and I told them they still have 35 minutes to enjoy our regular season because at 7 o'clock, everybody's 0-0, and the district starts. So if we come play as a team and bring our defense, which we've done for 20 straight nights. I mean, I told you in the hallway that we've given up on average 25 points a game.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's 6 points a quarter. Coach Hubbard and I used to always laugh. We'd say, hold them to 40 girls, we'll find a way to score 41. And now we're holding them to 25. We got to find a way to score 26. So if we do that, which I think we will, we'll be very focused. Exam week is this week, so they're very tired. So they'll be much more rested for next week. And I think that if we play the way we can play, we'll be fine, and we can live with the results.
They play Wednesday at North Adams in the districts, 6 o'clock. And if you're listening and want to watch a really scrappy, a really talented group of kids play basketball, you definitely want to check that out. Kevin Reed is their head coach and leader. Lindy Wonders, Elise Lisney, Christina Craig, thank you all for being here. Congratulations on an incredible season, and best of luck in the postseason.
Thank you so much, Andy. We appreciate it.